Guys, welcome to Java JSON, and as of now we have discussed in the array like what is the array. Okay, so what is the array? What is array? As of now we have discussed like what is array. So array is a similar type of the data, we can say. Okay, second we have discussed what are the types. What are the types of array? Okay, so this is the second questions we have discussed, and third questions as of now we have discussed like what is the 1D dimensional array, which is single dimensional array. So if I write 1D array or single dimensional array, you can say both are the same only. Okay, so this is the three things we have discussed as of now. I have done some questions also, like how we can sort the array, how we can do the linear search on the array. So as of now we have discussed those things, some examples also, how we can how many way we can create a objects of array, how many we can declare the array, how we can store the value inside the array, how we can display the value from the array. So those things we have discussed, which is basic. Now in the today videos, okay, this videos I'm going to discuss about what is the 2D array, 2D array, and how we can do the work with this 2D array. Okay, so simply if you see how 2D array will look like, so let's go to the paint. Okay, and let me go to the paint. Okay, so if you see here, so this is look like something like 2D array, but I don't want this one. Okay, so this one, let me increase the font. Okay, one more second. Okay, so here I am going to create one 2D array. Okay, simply how 2D array will look like, I will show you. So for example, this is one array, okay, which is look like 2D array. So I am going to take these examples only. Okay, also create. So in this video I am going to create this 3 by 3 array. Okay, so for example I have created one array like int, which is integer type. Okay, and arr is a reference type, so I have to give two curly braces. Okay, which is a square bracket. Curly braces not, it's a square bracket, and then after you have to give equal to new int, and what are the row and columns we have to define. So let me decrease the size so that you can see properly. Okay, so this is the int, and here you can specify row, how many row. So these are the row. If you see, this is the one row, this is the two row, this is the third row. So this is the row I have specified. So row is mandatory, you have to give, and column is not mandatory, but you can also give, no issue, which is 3. So whatever I have created as of now, this is the 3 by 3 array. You can see here, if you write like 3 by 3 matrix. So 2D array is nothing but it's a matrix only. Okay, 2D array is nothing but it's a matrix only. So I have give some value here, which is 1. Here I will give 2. Here I will give 3. Here I will give 4, 5, and 6. Here I will give some value 7, 8, 9. So this is the 2D array as of now. So by default, if you not put any data inside this array, by default the value will be default types of the array type, which is 0, 0, 0. But I have filled the data so that you can understood, okay, this is the array. So here if you see, this is the row. What is this? This is row. And what is this? column. So let me write row and column. So this is called row and this is called column. Okay, you understood. So row, how much I have given here? This is the one row, this is the second row, this is the third row. So I have to specify here 3. If you want to give 4 row, you have to specify here 4, you have to specify 5, 6, 7, whatever. Okay, depend on your requirements, you can create the array and you can put the inside this value. Okay, so basically whenever you create 3 by 3 array, 4 by 4 array, it will look like that only, and you can fill the data inside this. Okay, so let me understood, once you create this array, how we can fill the data inside this, how we can store the data inside this. Okay, so while storing a data inside this, you can go with the 2 loops, which is nested loop, you can say. So loop inside loop you have to create, and you have to iterate all those loop and perform the operations. So basically every cell, this is the one cell having a value called I, j. So here what is the I, what is the j? So I is 0 and j is 0. Why 0 0? Because our indexing point of the array is started with 0 0. Here it will increment, but still 0 will be same. So 0 1. If you go here 0 2, 0 2. So this is the indexing point will happen. If you go below, so you can write 0 1 0, 2 1 0, 2 0, like that. Okay, let me write also so that you can understood better way. So here you have to write 1 0. Here you have to write, because this is the third row, so 2 0. Third row, but third row, one row, second row and third row. So I will represent row, numbers of the row, and j will represent these things, which is column, traversing the column. So always we can put I for the fixed amount of the time for the iterations, which is upper bound loop, which is iterating the 3 times. First for the 0, second for the 1, third for the 2. And this one array which is putting inside this array, inside this for loop, another for loop of the I, which is j, it will do 3 times operations each time if the I is true. Okay, so this is the some basic information I have given you so that you can understood, and this is the indexing and this is the value will look like. Okay, let's go to the STS and try to understand. Okay, let me go to the slide first. So here if you see, this is the 2D array in the Java. 2D array in Java is an array where each element in the array is itself an array. Okay, so each element in the array is itself in an array. In the other words, a 2D array is a collection of elements that are arranged in a grid of matrix. So grid or matrix form में we can arrange the 2D array with each element having a unique row and a column index. So every index is having a unique name, unique row and unique indexes. Here are the some examples to declaring a initializing a 2D array in Java. So here you can see we have created 3 by 3 array and we are putting inside the value. So if you see here indexing, so that is very important. So 3 by 3 we have created, and I want to store the data in the first cell. For example, this cell. So what is the index number of this cell? Let's go and check. So here if you see 0 0. So matrix, this is the reference name of the array, which is index number is 0 0. Okay, store 1, so it will store 1. 0 1 it will store 2, 0 2 it will store 3. So if you go 0 1 store 1, 0 0 store 1, 0 1 store 2, 0 2 store 3, like that. If you have to give below the 1 0, let's go and see. So 1 comma 0, matrix 1 comma 0, which is 1 0 is 4, 1 1 is 5, 1 2 is 6. Let's go and check here. 1 2 is 6. So like that you can store the data. 2 comma 0 7, 2 comma 1 8, 2 comma 2 9. So it will start from here, 2 comma 0, 2 comma 1, 2 comma 2. So this is the way to store the data inside this. And how we can create a syntax for that. So this is the syntax also. You can use this one also for directly put the data inside this. Okay, if you see, this is a matrix, and this is the anonymous matrix you can create, or like that also matrix you can create. Okay, so let's go to the STS and do the practical or practice of all those things so that you can understood in the better way. Okay, so let me start 2D array. Okay, so let's go to 2D array. So let me create one package, otherwise I think I have a array, so I will go with this one. So this is the 2D array. We have already one classes 2D array. So here what I will do, I want to create a 2D array matrix. So how many way we can create a 2D array matrix? Let me check. So this is the one way. Int arr double square bracket new int, but make sure you have to give the row which is compulsory 3 or 4, whatever you want to give, you can give 4, and this is not compulsory, but if you can give, no issue. So this is the one way to create a array. Let me show you the second way. So if you don't know the element what we need to store inside this array, you can create this array and later you can store the data inside this. Okay, if you have already data and you want to store the those data inside this array, so no need to create like that. You can directly put the data inside the array. How? So this is the first way. Let me write. This is the first way to create a object of the array. This is the second way I'm going to create. You can write int arr square bracket open close new. No need to write new, you can just curly braces open. So this is the one array you can see, okay, which is 2D array, but I want to give here 2D array. What I can do, I can give, no issue. So each and every row is one of the array. So I will assume like that and I will give those array, for example 1 comma 2 comma 3. So this is the one array. I will separate with the comma again and I will give another array which is 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4, because I have created with the 4. So you can give here 4, no issue. Okay, comma open curly braces close it braces 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4. So this is the one array we have created. This is 4 by 4 array. For example, I want to print this array. What I can do, I can write one for loop. Okay, I want to print this array and I know to show you. So let me start. This one is 2, this one is 3. Okay, and this one is 5 6 and this one is something like 10. Okay, and I want to print this array, print 2D array. So printing a 1D array is very easy. Just put one loop and iterate the array up to that length, so it will print all those elements and you can store it. But this array I want to print in the matrix form. How can I do it? So you can do with the two loop. One loop for iterating the row and second loop for the printing a value. Okay, right? So this is the for loop I have written, and you can write like int I equal to 0. Okay, otherwise you can do with the shortcut also. So we have a shortcut, just write for control space and go here like for use for the index and just enter, so that it will create a one for loop. Okay, go inside this one more times just for go to the use of array and store it. It will create a J for loop also. So here you can see array dot length. So what is the array dot length value? So array dot length is always 3 because this is the 3 by 3 matrix. Okay, so that is fine. We have to iterate that times only. So this is the, in our case we have taken 4 by 4, 4 by 4. So length of the matrix is 4. This is the 4 by 4 array. 4 by 4. Okay, 4 by 4. I want to print now. What I can do? I can write here S out, and in the S out I will write ARR of I, which is row, and J, which is column. Okay, and let's run it, and also give one space. Okay, so that we can understood proper way. If you run right now, it will not show properly, but it will print. It's printing 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 2, 1 2 3 2. I don't know why it's printing like that. Okay, but let me know like why it's printing like that. So every time I is incrementing, j equal to 0, I equal to 0, that is fine. Array of I plus j, it will print. Okay, so this is the array. Let me write here once S out, and in the S out it will give the next line. If I run this code, it's not showing properly. Okay, remove this ln here. Okay, so if you see here, it's printing 1 2 3, 2 2 3, 3 2 3. Why like that? So it's assuming like this is the 3 by 3 only. So it's printing 1 2 3. It will not print the 4. It's printing 2 2 3, 2 2 3, 2 2 3, up to 3 times only. So here inside this you have to give, like this is the 3 only, so it's assuming like 3 row we have only. So this one is also printing for the 3 times, but this is not a row. So right now our matrix will become 3 multiply 4, 3 row and 4 columns. This is the 3 by 4. This is the 1 row, this is the second row, and this is the third row. But if you count the elements inside this, 1 2 3 4, so 3 by 4s. Okay, so this is 3 by 4 matrix. So you have to iterate your matrix up to 4. So you can write here 4. So now it will work. Okay, let me go and just print it. So now you can see it's printing the properly. Okay, whatever the value we have given, it's printing properly now. I can see, and I think you can also see. Okay, okay, I hope you are able to see, guys. Okay, fine. So this is the one way to write a code, and this is the logic for printing the array. For example, I have written 3 by 3 array only. Don't go with the 4 by 4. And 3 by 3. So that time you don't want to specify this. It's automatically take array dot length, which is 3. And you can print each and every element in the format of the matrix form. Okay, so let me run. You can see 1 2 3, 2 2 3, 3 2 3. Okay, 3 2 3. So this is the simple things we have understood. So as of now you understood. Okay, we are able to create array in the 2 way. Okay, so this is the 3 by 3 matrix we have created. Okay, now if I try to print this one line of the code, we have not printed as of now, so let's take this one and try to print it. Okay, 4 by 4 and try to print it. So now we can get that time 0 0 0 because we have not inserted any data in that. But I want to insert some data which is 4 into 4 position, these positions, 4 into 4 positions. So index will be start with the 0 1 2 3. So we can insert the value in the 3 into 3 index only. So we can say AR of 3 please 3 only, 3, please put the 1 2 3 value. Okay, and let me run. So we are able to modify this value. If I tell no, I want to store some value in this index which is 0 comma 0, or something like something different also you can take. So 0 comma 0 I have to store in that positions is something value called 456. No ISO. So here just remove it. Okay, so this is the correct way you can write. And in the index position you can see here we have put it 456. If someone told you can store the value in the index number or position number, something like these positions which is 1, from that 1, and from that you can go to the 3. So 1 into 3 positions. So simply what we can do, 1, so 1 comma 3 position I have to start some value, to store some value. I have written, you can see we have able to put the value from that place. So always remember one thing, like always our array indexing will be started from the 0. So if you created 4 by 4, if you created 3 by 3, based on that only we can store the data inside this. Okay, so let me remove this. And this is the second way we have seen to create an array. Now we are going to see like is it third way also is available to create an array. So I'm going to write like int arr empty new int, and you don't want to specify anything here. Okay, no row and no columns, just open the curly braces and close the curly braces. Okay, and inside this you can specify your element. So for example I had to specify 1 row comma 2 row comma 3 row. Okay, and here I can give 1 comma 2 comma 3. Here I can give 2 comma 3 comma 4. Here I can give comma 4 comma 5. So this is the one way I have specified and I know the value. So whenever you know the value, okay, this is the array and this is the value, then don't create this array. No need to create this array and take the value from the users. But if you know already value, just go with this one or just go with this one. So this is the very nice way to put the value inside the array. No need to write anything, just you have to specify and ignore the syntax and you can put the value. Okay, and you can utilize those features. Okay, this is the anonymous array creation of the 2D. So this is the third way we have created the array, and we can store the value inside this. We have already stored the value inside this and we can print it. So let me run. Once you run, you can see 1 2 3 2 3 4 3 4 5. So this is the value we have stored inside this and we are able to print it. Okay, so this is the three-way to create a object of the array and store the value inside this. So please don't forget it. Please remember those things, how many way we can create a array object and how we can store the data inside this and how we can do the work with this one. Okay, so the three things is very important. I hope you understood, guys. Okay, You can write and prepare your notes also, so that is very helpful for you. Okay, okay, fine. Let me remove everything now. I hope you understood the 2D array, like how we can create, how many way we can create, and how we can store some data inside this in the particular positions, and how we can display those also. Okay, let me remove. Now the third things is I'm going to tell you. In the 2D array, for example, I want to take the value from the users and I want to store those value inside the array. Okay, so if someone give me requirement, hey, can you take one 3x3 array and take the value from the users and store the array and also print it, okay, in the matrix form. So what I will do is I will say okay, fine, I will do it. So first you can create one array which is 3x3 array. So let's create 3x3 array. Okay, this is the syntax. So we have created the array. Now he told me like, okay, take the value from the users. So you can use the scanner is equal to new scanner system.in. Okay, this is the scanner we have used. Okay, fine. Now I want to display some message so that user can understand. Okay, this is the value I have to enter. So what we can do is we can do one thing. I can print one message. Hey, is out. Enter 3 multiply 3. Enter 3x3 matrix array. I will tell user to please enter the 3x3 matrix array. And now once I display this, now it's my responsibility. Whatever the value he enter, I have to store it inside this array. Right? Yes, right. So write a logic to store value from users. How we can do it? You have to take two loops. So whenever you are doing work with the 2D array, you have to take two loops only, and that is very, very important. So this is the one loop I have taken. Inside this one more loop you have to take based on the index only, and this one for the I and this one for the j. So first one will iterate for the row and second one for iterate for the column. Okay, and inside this I will write one things. Hey, array of I and array of j store the whatever the user giving the value. So scanner sc dot next in whatever he entered, we have to store it. So we have stored it. Okay, fine. Also we have already seen write a logic to print. So after we have taken the value, we can write a logic to print those data also. So write a logic to print 3x3 matrix or 2D array, both you can say. Okay, now I have to print. So for printing also we have to go with the I and j. So just write one for loop. Okay, so I have written some iterator, I don't want those. Write a for loop, go with the based on the index, and one more for loop you have to write, go with the index. Okay, and here you can write, hey, I have to print the data. So you can say s out, and in the s out you can say array of I comma array of j, and also don't give the ln, you have to print one space so that it will look like a matrix. And once one row is completed. Now go to the next row, next line. So for that ln it's required. So this is the basic logic. So this logic we have already discussed in the previous questions, and this logic is new to store the data inside this array. Okay, so how these are storing the data? So for example, I is 0 and j is 0. So in the first value, whatever the user is given, it will go and it will store the array of 0 into 0 positions. Again loop will go to the j plus plus, and still I is 0. So j plus plus, it will come here, condition is true. Now I is 0 and j is 1. So it will store the value inside this second position. Again it will go third positions of the row only. Okay, and later again row will change. If this condition is false, it will go I plus plus. So after I 0, it will become 1. So now it will store 1 comma 0, 1 comma 2, 1 comma 3, like that. It will store, it will go on. Let me run this code, and please don't forget to practice in your system. If you not practice, you can't become a developer. Okay, fine. So we have we are taking the value from the users. So now we can see like this line is executed and it's printed. Enter the 3 by 3 matrix. So once you enter it, it will take those value through this loop and it will store it, okay, inside the array. So this is the array we have created, 3 by 3. So let's print it. So 1 comma 2 comma 3. So this is the one row I have given, which is 3 value. In the next row I will give 5 space 6 space 7. In the next row I will give 7 8 9. If I give more than that, it will take, but it will not store inside this. So it will store only up to 9 digit only. If I hit enter, you can see it will print it also. Let me run one more time so that you can understand. I have entered some value like 1 2 3 2 3 4 5 6 7. I have entered some extra value also. So those it will not take. Whatever the extra value you have given, it will take only first 9 digit, the size of array only. If you are taking the value from the users, it will not take more than that. If you store it, you are welcome, but it will not store in your memory because there is no space on that. Okay, so this is the way to write a code and take the value from the users and store the print the value into the matrix form. Okay guys, so I hope you understood. Let me remove this code. Okay, and write one main method closing bracket. Okay, fine. Okay, now I have one question in my mind. For example, we have some value and I want to print for example, I have this matrix. Let me write 1 2 3. Okay, so let me give some space, more space. 3 2 3 4 3 5 6. So this is the matrix I have. So take one matrix which is 3 by 3 and print the sum of primary diagonal. Primary diagonals. So I want to print the sum of the primary diagonals. So this is the matrix and I want to print the primary diagonals. So what is the primary diagonals? This line like 1 3 6 is a primary diagonals, this line. Okay, and this is a secondary diagonals. Okay, so let me write here. So if you see here, I am going to create one things. Okay, fine, and also create these things. also create these things. Okay, this is the 3 by 3 matrix. Let me put some value. So here I have given 1, 2, 3. You have to be careful, guys, because so many people are confused in that. Okay, so 2, something like 4 you can give, 4 or 5. Okay, and 3, 5, 1. Okay, so this is the one matrix. What is the primary diagonal? So this is called a primary diagonal. Okay, this is called a primary diagonal. Okay, and let me write, this is the secondary diagonal. So I have one questions like, can you print the sum of primary diagonal? Okay, so if you can, this is the primary diagonal, and this is the secondary diagonal. This is the secondary diagonal. So but my question is, can you print the sum of the primary diagonal? The sum of the primary diagonal is what? 1 plus 2 plus 1, which is nothing but 4. So our output will be 4. So output will be 4. Okay, this is the things we have to cover. So if you go here and if you see this here, what is the sum? What is the sum? So here if you see, the sum is nothing but 6 plus 3 plus 1. So the output should be, so output should be 1 plus 3 plus 6 equal to what? 9 and 1, which is 10. So these things you have to print, which is output. Okay, so this is the sum of the primary diagonal we have to print. So let me take this matrix and let's do code for that. So int arr, and let me open the curly braces, put your matrix data. So this is the one. Okay, also make sure you have to give the comma, otherwise syntax error you can get. Okay, and this is the one. Also go with this one, put the comma, and here also you can give the comma. Okay, my god. So now you can see it's look like a one matrix. Okay, also one more things, this is the one row. So remove here, not required, remove here, not required. And you have to give, once one row is completed, you have to give one comma, and finally you have to give the semicolon. Okay, I hope you understood. Okay, and this is the things. So this is the one matrix. Okay, it's look like a matrix. Now we need a sum of this diagonal, which is primary diagonal, 6 plus 3 plus 1, which is 10. What we can do, this is the syntax, and we have to print the sum of the primary diagonals. Okay, so as of now we have seen, like this is the calculations we have done and we have to print it. So as of now we know, hey, if you want to do the work with the 2D dimensional array or matrix, you have to go with the 2 for loops. Yeah, sure, you have to go with the 2 for loops. So one loop is iterating like based on the row and one is column. Okay, right. Now if you see here in our figures, here if you see, I will show you previously, the sum of this primary diagonal is every time I and j is 0 0 1 1 and 2 2. Every time, always the primary I and j value are the same. So what we have to do is, you have to check, hey, iterate one for loop based on the array. Inside this one more for loop we need based on the iterating, control shift O, and then after you have to check, oh, when I is 0 and j is 0, take this value. And what is the index position of this one? 3, which is I is 1 and j is 1, then also take this value. If I is 3, I is 2, j is 2, that time you have to pick this value and add this. So simply here in the two for loops, I will write one condition, hey, if I equal to j, what we need to do? You have to do the sum, which is sum equal to sum plus array of I and j. This position you have to iterate it, but we don't have a sum, so create one sum variable in sum equal to 0. Okay, and come out the outside of the loop, okay, all those loop, and then after print it. So this is the SR. Okay, and here you can see, here you can print it, output which is sum. Okay, so if I run this code, you can see the output easily, which is 10. Okay, it's printing, no issue in that. It's printing, no issue in that, and that is fine also. If you print here, like which is value is added, so you can print also. You can write code here, like, hey, array of I and array of j, can you please display it? Okay, just display it, area of I and area of j with some space, and remove the ln, otherwise you can give noise. And here you can say something like output. If you run, you can see what are the value is added. So 136 is output is 10. So this is the diagonal sum we have done. Some other questions we can see the some next video, and we can write so many logical questions, and we can try to understand in the depth of each and every logical question. So here I and j is 0, then only we are adding those values, so that is the sum of the principal diagonals. Okay, we have already discussed, I think here, if you see here, this is something diagram I have prepared previously. Okay, so here if you see, this is the matrix only, which is 3 by 3. So indexing point will be started of the 2D arrays 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2. So this is the actual indexing point will be happen when you create 2 by 2 array. For example, I want to add the secondary, I want the sum of the secondary diagonal. What we can do? We can add both 2 plus 0 to 1, 1, 2. So we can put one condition like I plus j equal to 2, then print and add those sum and print it. Okay, one more questions I will give you as assignment. Okay, let me give the assignment. The same matrix. So this is the one question which I have done. Second question is print the sum of secondary diagonal. Secondary diagonal, which is something like 3 plus 3 plus 3. 3 plus 3 plus 3. Oh my god. It's 9. So output will be 9. So output will be 9. Also, third questions. We have to like primary diagonal minus secondary diagonals. Okay. So sum of primary diagonal. So you can write like that. Sum of primary diagonal minus sum of secondary diagonal. Output is something like 10 minus 1, 10 minus 9, which is 1. So this is the 3 questions we can do in the upcoming video. As of now it's fine. Okay, thank you so much guys.